Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Cam, aka, and you're listening to some of my unreleased music on the Brunner podcast. Make it a day.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Brunner podcast. I have here to the left of me my co-host, the beautiful Kirsten McCollum, and to my right, I have my special guest, one of my good friends, Cole Gerke is on the show. I'm super pumped to have him on the show and talk about his story working with the Oregon State football team, working with NFL Films, and a special treat, talking about a little more things and projects that he's been working on. Really excited. Without further ado, Jay Cole, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Dude, I'm so excited to have you on the show. I've had a few friends on the show, but no one like you, because we've gone through and done some stupid things in the past, and I'm excited to just talk with you and talk about where you've been, man, and what you've been up to.
I was going to say, speaking of stupid things, I'm not trying to come on here on your own show and just roast you, but I've seen you run around Philadelphia butt-ass naked.
This is true.
We encourage
This is true. Hey, maybe
Coop, come back.
maybe we'll talk about it when we get deeper into his journey while being at NFL Films. Eli, if you're listening to this too, man, this might get ugly. But anyways, before we get into the meat of the episode, Cole, why don't you tell a little bit about yourself, what you've been doing these past few years, and just show or tell the audience what you're about.
So, going off first, like, one of the weird things about me is my real name is actually Jay Cole, like the rapper.
Jay Cole, Cole World.
I go by Cole because my mom wanted to name me Cole, and my dad would name me Jay, and they didn't want to name me Cole J because they're like, that's stupid. It sounds too much like LL Cool J, the rapper. Why on earth would we name our, pasty white son after
A sicko rapper name?
Yeah, exactly. So let's name him J. Cole because there's no rapper's named J. Cole.
You could flex with JJ Cole, though. That's cool.
JJ Cole.
Or LL Cool J, I mean. Wow.
Yeah. But I'll go to, Paint Express all the time, and they'll be like, oh, we need to check your, they'll think it's a fake, like a debit card or whatever, like I'm
For sure.
identity thieving someone. So they always ask for my ID, and they'll be like, oh, no, your name's actually J. Cole. Can you freestyle? And I'm like, no, please not.
Can I freestyle at Panda Express? Yo, what's up,
just
Panda?
Orange chicken. I want to get, I'm trying to get out of here.
Have you checked my skin tone lately?
Oh, man, yikes. Well, why don't you talk about how we've known each other? I know we've been around.
You and I met in elementary school.
Yeah, that's right. Deer Creek, baby.
We bonded over. We were at my grandma's house one time because we'd always just go to the park and play like pickle.
I remember that with Jackson and Johnny and Nick.
Where Coop just loved pelting them with the tennis ball.
Pickleball.
We won't talk about that, I guess.
Dude, that was man. Kids these days don't do any of that. They don't go outside to the park we went to was Juergens Park. And we
walkie-talkies all the time.
Walkie-talkies.
Talk to our parents.
No phones.
Yeah.
None of those little cricket phones. We had walkie-talkies, kids. And we literally put two bases in the field, like in the outfield of a baseball field, and had a tennis ball. And two dudes were like playing catch, and then one kid was unfortunately getting pelted by a tennis ball.
There was always that friend there that was like a little bit slower than everyone else.
Yeah.
They're just taking a tennis ball to the back, just beamers the whole day.
I remember having a tantrum one day when we had, I think it was, shout out to Paul and Brendan Bixel. I think I got hit in the back really weirdly from a tennis ball, and I just went rage mode. And I went over to Paul, I think it was, and just, classic 8-9-year-old just jumping on top of somebody when they weren't ready, and just went full force on Paul Pixel. Those were the days.
I just didn't deserve it.
Anywho, yeah, I was a troubled kid.
But yeah, we knew each other for a long time, and then I've seen you you still have that scar on your arm, right? We were at my grandma's house, and you're trying to put your shoes on.
You're trying to put your shoes on.
And you leaned
Battle
over
wounds.
on a glass table, and it broke, and your arm went through it. And I remember.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Well, we were
6th grade, 5th grade, 6th grade.
Yeah, we were maybe 10, 11.
Yeah.
But I remember you got in the car, and you had a white rag that quickly turned red, and you kind of took it off for a second, and you did this, and I saw
Moved my
I saw your
fingers
tendons
around.
moving. I saw the white, and I thought it was your bone. And I
That was
like,
gnarly. I just remember your dad just being like, "Coop, we're going to the ER right now.
Yep.
Just add pressure, and we're going." That was super gnarly because that was playoffs for like youth baseball.
your mom was pissed.
Yeah, my dad's like on the phone. Is it his left arm? I was like, sadly, yes.
Yeah.
It sucks. But yeah, we played high school sports together. We've grown up since we were, 7 or 8 years old, and this dude's a stud. He's crushing it in what he's doing with videography. Do you want to highlight anything that you did in high school with your videography?
I really didn't do anything in high school. It just got to there's a Black Friday, and Best Buy was having a sale, and me and Bryce Haskin, we were like, oh, dude, we should get a GoPro. That'd be sick. He had like some class he had to make a video, and they gave him this like super shitty camcorder, and we took it to like an Oregon State football game actually, and made like the worst video you could. I don't know where it is. I hope it never resurfaces. It was awful. And then we were just like, man, we're pretty good at this. Like we thought we were awesome. We're like, oh, we should keep doing this. And so we made like a few snowboarding videos. I think we made like a sledding video or something. I think
Yeah,
there's some
classic start
on
to
YouTube,
it.
But I have them like private, so I
Yeah.
can see them.
Yeah.
But we did that, and I was like, man, I really like this. Like I don't know anything about it, but I love doing it. I wish I could learn more about this. I wish I could do this in college because I went to Oregon State to be an engineer.
Hey, what kind?
Oh, wow.
Not civil,
Mechanical.
not mechanical. It's like when you're processes like logistics.
No, it's not important anymore now.
Yeah, I don't know.
Clearly didn't help.
Industrial engineer.
Okay.
That's what it was. And so I was like, man, I hate math and science. Like I can't do this for the rest of my life. If I
Right.
don't do this video thing now, like I never will.
Right.
It's kind of like baseball for me. Like I never played baseball because I was like, I'm too late. Like I can't catch up. So I was like, if I don't do this video thing now, then like I'm never going to. So let's
Right.
do it. We'll see how far I get. And like if it's not like an option for me, it's like if it's not viable, like I tried it,
Yeah.
So it was, even before school was on start day, there was like a little tent where you could change your major, and I'm like, well, that's not a good idea for people who haven't even started college yet.
Day one, we're out.
Yeah. So like, hey, if you want to change your major, it was super easy. I just told
Right.
them I was like, hey, what can I like? I want to do video. I don't even know what major I would do. They're like, oh, be this like communications major. Like,
Were your parents there?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know why they were okay with it either. I don't know if I told them. I think I did. But yeah, so it was just like, hey, we're doing this right now, and yeah, like at Oregon State, you don't go there to like learn videography. It's like
No.
they have a good media program. They have a lot of cool things that they do, but it's really like not like I think I'm taking like my first production class right now. Finally, I just got
Wow.
like I got my hands on experience through just like kind of putting yourself out there. I think there's a lot of people that are kind of afraid to take on more than like they know that they can.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there's a lot more people that do that than you think. And once you put yourself in that situation, you'd be surprised at how fast you can adapt. That's just kind of always my thing.
So walk us through your journey to get on the team and do media for the team.
So that was just one of those things too, just like putting yourself out there. So like we were at SIGUP one day, and my like dad told me that my grandpa said he was talking to someone. They're like, yeah, my son, like my grandson, is doing videography or something. And the person he's talking to was like, oh, tell him to go to the sports building because the football team always needs help with video. And we're at SIGUP. We joined the same fraternity, Cooper and I, and I'm at SIGUP, and I'm like, hey guys, we're eating lunch. I'm like, hey, where's the sports building? And they just like, shut the fuck up. Like, it doesn't exist. So I was kind of like, oh, okay, cool. Like, me neither. And no, so I didn't have like class that day. Like my writing 121 class got canceled. So I just walked around like Reeser and Gill for like an hour.
I was gonna say, was it Gil?
It was in Valley Football Center.
Okay.
So I walked around for a long time, and then I kind of just stumbled into Valley. I was like, well, this has got to be it. And I walked upstairs, and I found the little sign on the door, like Oregon State Video Department. I was like, oh, awesome. And I walked in, and no one was in there. And some guy was walking by, and I was like, hey, do you know where these people are? And they're like, oh, they left for the day. So like I just missed him. And then my boss who hired me at the time, his name was on the door. So I just Googled his name, Oregon State football, found his email, emailed him. And I guess at the time, like, they had some freshmen come in, like someone's little brother. And since I emailed them, like reached out to him as a freshman, he was afraid that he went back to the dorms and he was just going to get a bunch of emails from freshmen.
Yeah,
so he was like,
for sure.
Oh my God. Like, okay. Like, I guess
Bombarded by a bunch of freshman emails.
So they're like, we'll interview this guy. So yeah, I just went in, talked to him, and he was like, yeah, we'd love to have you on. But that's not like editing videos. It's not creative, really. It's really logistical. So what we do is we film and edit like every practicing game.
Okay.
So you're learning like about the cameras. You're learning how to frame things up. what the coaches want to see. So it's a little bit harder than it seems. It's not the hardest job in the world. There's a lot of like nitpicky details you can pick up and learn about. But then they do have like people in that department that are full time that do edit like creative videos.
For sure.
That are like, very skilled professionals. So for me, it was just like knowing I wanted to learn that. And when I put my time in with them during work, if I ever came like in after, they were more than happy to teach me stuff.
Right. It's going out of your way and asking the right people to show them things or have them show you things.
Yeah.
Going above and beyond what you're being asked for.
Exactly. And it's like, they don't have to do that, but they're like, people in the industry just realize, we all started somewhere. The more you can help someone out, give them that knowledge, it's always really helpful. But you just got to ask.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, with being on the team right now, your experience so far, who have been some fun players to work with or make edits on?
You know who's hilarious all the time? Who I never like really interacted with, but he was always that guy because we'd be on the radio during practice and we'd be like, "Oh, you guys who are like what Perebski said today, our Australian punter."
Yeah,
Is he still on the team?
that dude is jacked for a punter.
He's
left a while ago.
hilarious. I was gonna say I haven't seen him in a while because when I was there, he was there.
It was really funny that like before the season starts, kind of they'll do like the Pac-12 media day.
Yeah.
And you send like kind of your two best players.
Yeah.
And we sent like our punter, like Perebski, one year. Like,
Yep.
he was a stellar punter, but everyone's like, "What the fuck are they doing? Like sending a punter to the media day?" And then he got there, and I think like the cameras were on him a lot just because how funny he is and just like unique his accent and
Right.
he's a funny guy. Speaking of how like, he's pretty jacked for a punter.
Oh,
Yeah,
for
he was
sure.
thick.
Well, wasn't he playing rugby for Australia and they pulled him off the team and they brought him over to here?
Something like
I
that.
think
I'm
that's
pretty
what
sure
it
He
was.
told me.
But have you guys been watching the combine this weekend at all?
Yeah.
A little bit.
So there's a punter on there, I think, who did 25 reps.
For bench
25.
press?
He beat every tight end.
Wow.
Dude,
Yeah, on bench.
that is
Bench.
crazy. I know there's a local guy from Portland State that was crushing it on the combine. I forgot his last name. I think it was like Thornew or something like that. But, man, 25 reps?
At 225?
Yeah.
That's pretty
insane.
good, man.
Yeah.
How big is he, do you know?
It was,
As a
well,
punter?
Yeah, Mike
Like,
was telling me about it.
Probably
My
like,
sister's
what,
husband,
5'10",
Mike,
5'11"?
yeah.
He was telling me about it. I didn't see it, but I was like, but he Googled it too, and he was like, he thought it was 35 reps, but it was 25. And I'm like,
Still.
that's
Still.
like,
Still, man.
yeah, this guy's gonna think he's gonna be a punter in the NFL, and he's gonna end up being like a linebacker.
Yeah, that's massive.
Yeah.
Beast. Cool.
But Perebski was really fun to be around. Elu's hilarious.
Oh, he's a funny kid.
Well, he's huge.
He's
Have you
massive.
seen a picture of him from high school?
Yes.
He's so much smaller.
He was one of the guys that I worked with. And so,
Yeah.
like, I brought him in freshman year, and there's this giant guy.
Mhm.
And he just wants to hug everyone. The nicest guy you will ever meet.
Yeah, I'll be on the film, like not on the film, on the field sometimes, like filming like the O-line and D-line, they'll do one-on-ones.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll just be standing like with the camera trying to like focus, and I'll just feel this big sweaty mass like leave like
Yeah.
laying on my back. I'll look around, it's him, and I'm like, bro,
You're like, you.
get
Disgusting.
Get the fuck, like I love you, like you're a hilarious guy, you're a great human being, but you gotta get off me right now.
Get that sweaty mass off me,
He'll
please.
be doing a drill, and the coaches will be like, "Hey, Elu, are those cleats 400-pounder proof?"
God, that's so disgusting. No, thank you. Dude, that's
hilarious.
crazy. Cool.
He's got a great singing voice too, which
He
not many
does.
people know.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah, he's like
Yeah.
a really, really good singer, like really talented.
Did you ever go to the talent show when all the Hawaiian Samoan boys would
No, but
do
I've
their
seen-
dance?
I've seen a video.
It's so good.
Yeah.
They would practice, together, and then they'd go every year to the talent show and kick ass.
It's crazy how well.
What kind
they
of
harmonize.
dance?
They would do like, I
The,
don't
the
I-
haka?
Yeah, is that what it's called? I don't know what it's called.
The
yeah,
Ah, come at the-
yes.
car. That's
Yeah.
so cool.
It was really cool, and they'd get all dressed up and everything. It was legit.
Wow. That's sick.
that is
TikToks.
easily the coolest dance out there, like for sports,
Mm-hmm.
the tradition. Because have you seen the All Blacks do that? The rugby team,
Mm-hmm.
in New Zealand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, those guys
real.
dominate
It's
too. It's really cool. I read their book or like some sort of book on them. I forgot what it was called on the spot, but it was a really good book, and they explained how their culture is all about like winning, but on top of that, like having that high standard within themselves, and the camaraderie with that goes into that is really cool to read about. But cool. So you're currently with the Beavs right now doing your media stuff, but in between that, you also had the opportunity to travel outside the U.S. and do a project. I believe it was Pedal It Forward.
Yeah.
Walk us through that.
So the project in itself was just a short film documentary. It's like 10 minutes long, And we took so the town we're in Bolivia is like extremely like poor and really polluted. A lot of people can't afford like sustainable products or like even to have like an oven or clean water.
Wow.
A lot of people kind of use a latrine in the backyard, like kind of dig a hole. So this guy who's just like a super talented engineer, kind of like technician, inventor. He'll take like the concept of pedaling bikes and use them to create different inventions. Like he's made a blender. He's made kind of a cargo bike for people like who have to carry a lot of things who don't have a car.
Yeah.
He like MacGyver's a lot of cool things. He's made like I think a washer and dryer. I want to say.
Wow.
I think a water purifier is what he was wanting to do. I don't know if he got around to it.
With a bike? That's so
That
cool.
It's crazy.
Makes sense.
Yeah, you
'cause
can
they
do a
don't
lot.
They don't really have like that clean drinking water. And
Yeah.
So he's trying to just like create these cheap products for people that need them, that are renewable and also good for the environment.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna make your life easier and it's also like great for the environment. So we're really just trying to like tell his story and give him like this way to like spread his name because he didn't have a lot of funding. So where he's trying to like do all this good, he just like didn't have the support. So our main goal was to like tell his story, show his personality, because he had probably like one of the most beautiful personalities that I've also ever seen in person.
Yeah.
Like just the happiest of all time, and he could understand a little English, like not that well, but like you could connect. He's just one of those people. Like you were just on the same page.
Even with the language barrier.
Yeah. But
How did you find this opportunity?
so I was taking a business class at Oregon State. Do you know Sandy Newbaum?
I don't.
Professor at Oregon State. It was like my first class I ever took. It was like my first day of college, and it was in Weatherford. It was like one of those classes in Weatherford in the dorm. And she's like, "Oh, telling us about how we have like the guest speakers like every so often, and like you have to come to so many to get this whatever grade credit, And she's like, "Yeah, we got this guy who I know who runs a documentary company. He takes like college students abroad to film these documentaries." And she's asking everyone like, what do you want to like, hey guys, like what's your dream job? And no one answered. She's like, you, what's your dream job? And I was like,
You, Jay.
I was like, that's kind of funny because I'm like the only person here that's not in business class, and actually my dream job is like being a documentarian, like what you just told me about. His name was Robin Canfield. She was like, oh, that's awesome, let me reach out to him for you. Who knows, maybe next year Jay will be like a guest presenter telling us about how he went on a documentary with Robin.
That's
Exactly.
awesome.
That's so cool.
I was able to reach out to him, and that was my first video experience because like I like knew nothing really, So being able to do that, go through that program, there was really a lot of like training in the meantime, and they really like coached you through what to do. At the end of the day, it was kind of your call on the project. So it was me and a group of a team of 3 other people working on this documentary.
Cool.
But being able to like be in that environment, learn from people who have like been there, done that, and have that like real experience is really what helped add that to my portfolio and like really get me going, being like, okay, this is how it is in a professional.
Were you doing the filming and the editing, or just filming?
I was the director.
Okay,
of that.
there you go.
So,
Just taking over.
Big moves.
Yeah.
Big steps.
Yeah, you could ask me right now, be like, what did the director do? I'd be like, I don't fucking know. But pretty much what I know, it's like you say like the direction of the film you want it to go. You work with the editor really close, the cinematographer. You're making shot lists. So I wasn't actually like doing the technical things, but I was kind of being like, here's where we want to go.
You're like the vision.
Yeah, at the end of the day, like what happened, the cool thing was, which I was like, this is too much power for me. But it was like, I was kind of like, I had the last say.
Okay.
But it was like, listen to your teammates, like make sure you're collaborating. But if it was like, hey, I would rather add this shot than this shot, then that was kind of my call.
Cool. Call on that. That's
and then also like writing the interview questions, like interviewing the subjects and kind of running that.
Okay.
So and you did some crazy things while your journey too. Like I saw that on your Instagram when I was doing some digging before this, that you even got a like cliff. What was it?
It was like parasailing.
Parasailing.
Okay.
So yeah,
that looked epic.
It was like that cost like US dollars wise like $15 to do that.
That's it?
What?
It's so expensive in the States to do that.
So we took like a 45-minute van drive, like in one of those Sprinter vans, up to the Andes Mountains.
No big deal.
So they drop us off.
Right.
We like went in shifts. Like they would like parasail down and like come back up and get the rest of us,
Okay.
But I remember being like super hungover that morning and just like falling asleep on like the side of the mountain, kind of on this like shitty path.
Here I go. I'm gonna go sailing with this guy when I'm.
Like, you guys go first. I'm taking a nap. I'm taking a nap right here.
Did you have to go tandem, or were you able to go by yourself?
No, it's tandem.
Okay.
There's a professional. They were just like, yeah, kind of broken English. Like we didn't watch a video or anything. Or like I don't know if I probably did sign a contract or something, like a safety waiver.
Yes.
But they're just like, the only rule is just keep running, like, because you didn't want to try and jump, and then like they're not in the air and we take us both down.
Yeah.
So they're like, just keep running. Don't stop. So I think you can see in the
Scary.
video, my little like thick legs are just like.
Here we go.
Yeah. Like he's like, run. I was like, okay.
I'm going.
I don't know what else to do. I'm running. Here we go. We're gonna go
Yeah.
flying.
It was really cool. It was a really cool experience. Yeah, and
That's
he's
fun.
kind of, you're in the air and you're kind of sitting in his lap almost. So you feel like a little baby. Like on those front packs, whatever, like kind of strap you up. I felt like that. And he's like, do you like roller coasters? And I was like, yeah. And he just pulls on it.
In broken English.
Yeah. I was like, no, I don't
This should
like
be
roller
fun.
coasters. Yeah.
Was there anything ridiculous that you've experienced when you're in Bolivia? Like weird things that you had to eat, or like I don't know. Like what was the difference with culture
I
there?
kind of got tricked into eating llama one night,
Nice.
which was like really gamey.
Oof.
Yeah.
Because my friends I was there with, I call them my friends, not coworkers, they're cool people. But they were like, oh, I want to try llama. We went to this restaurant we really liked all the time, and they're gonna share it. And I think I got a steak, and they like accidentally gave me the llama. So I was halfway through, I was like, man, this steak sucks.
Oh,
And then we realized I was eating like their llama the whole time, and they're like, oh, like
sorry, you're eating llama.
yeah, like your
Gross.
steak was pretty good. But they also we went to a street fair because the guy that we were doing the documentary on, they were having like this big kind of like carnival street fair one day, which was really like unique and pretty neat. But they kind of had like a flyer for the food that they were serving, and something that they eat there a lot that I didn't is gerbil.
Ooh, that's
Ew.
ugh.
That's not uncommon.
Gross, dude. That's a pet. You don't eat that.
That's a rat.
nasty.
Yeah. So
That's-
I never like saw anyone eat gerbil. I never saw like a gerbil on a rotisserie. You know, just
my
like,
God.
Just chilling on the street.
yeah, I never saw that. I probably would have just like I would have just looked the other way real quick.
Yeah,
But
that
the-
it can't be good.
Okay, here's something really weird. Yeah, so they have like the town we were in. It's like the largest outdoor market in the world.
Okay.
It's seriously massive. I couldn't even tell you the size. It's probably like the size of Beaverton.
Oh wow.
fucking huge.
Holy.
So it's
Shit.
they call it La Cancha, and you can get in there and walk for miles and hours and like never reach the end and get turned around. And it's just like this complex
maze.
thing, like this maze of streets.
Is it like a large Saturday market?
It's huge, yeah, pretty much. But just like you get some weird parts in there. Like my buddy and I, we got in like too deep one day, where it got weird, and we were like, dude, we gotta get out of here.
Wow.
We gotta call a cab, or like get out of here or something. Like this is weird. So, and it's really common for pickpocketers to be there, and like we stick out like a sore thumb.
Mm-hmm.
We're easily the tallest people there,
Yeah.
like by a long shot. Our like skin complexion, you know,
Yeah.
you can pick us out. So we're gonna be easy targets, and it can be kind of dangerous in there.
Mm-hmm.
But we're walking through, and we passed this stand. I have a picture on my phone. I can show you guys after.
Yeah,
But,
check it out.
There's like this part where there's like different sections. So there's kind of like a food section, a clothing section, jewelry, watches, stuff like that. I get to like I don't know, this kind of random section, and a lot of the booths have like these dead baby llamas that are like dried out and hanging from a string,
Whoa,
and they smell like incense. And there's just like a bunch of them like hanging. you know?
dude.
Like it's
Weird.
Weird. Like they're about like this big. Like it had to have been like a llama like that was just born. I don't know.
Mhm.
But they eat llamas, so I was like, I guess it's not that uncommon. But it was
Right.
That was really strange. Like I looked dehydrated or something weird. And me and my buddy still
Gross.
walking. We're like, well, that was uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And we get to this part, and I have a video of this too. And these cops have this guy, and he's like on his hands and knees, and his head's in between these metal bars. And they have him right there. And these two cops are
What?
by him. And he must have been like a thief. They're making an example. I don't know. But they're giving him like the worst haircut of all time. like he's got bald spots everywhere. And they're just taking with scissors and going snip and just like throwing his hair. And we walked by and we're like, was that what we thought it was? We're like, yeah. Like, I was like,
That's the
okay.
disciplinary
I
action.
kind of like walked by and got like a little video real quick. But yeah, you can see, like if I slow it down, you can see them just doing that. Throwing it. So then we were like, let's get the fuck out of here. Like, let's get the hell out of Dodge.
I guess that'd be a pretty crappy way to like discipline somebody because it's gonna stay for a few weeks where you have bad hair. So I mean,
Is it
Yeah.
like to shave it?
if that's the way to do it, then
Yeah, I don't know what was going on. We didn't, it just was so like out there and bizarre. We had no idea. So at that point, it was time to go.
pure chaos in Bolivia streets. Hide your kids, hide your wives, hide your husbands.
Cutting everybody's hair out here.
Dude. Oh, that's crazy, but that's cool. So what would you say out of that whole time in Bolivia, what were the key takeaways with your experience with videography and just maybe finding yourself, like getting out of your environment from college to getting out?
what I took out of it more than anything else was just like being thankful. Honestly, more than like any technique I learned, was just like really appreciating like what we have here. Because you see like how hard people work there, you know, how like much time and energy they put in, and how like they'll never have that same opportunity.
Right.
And so you really just like take a chance to like step back and just really be appreciative.
For sure.
It was like, you know, if you couldn't flush your toilet paper down the toilet, like if you wipe your ass, you throw it in the garbage, like it stinks. And if you flush it, then like all the sewage like backs up to the shower, and you can't take a shower for a few days.
Wow.
There's things like that are super gross, but it's like that's just how life is there.
Right.
And so
they don't know anything any
things
better.
that we take for granted.
a simple thing like that.
Yeah.
It's like I'd like to flush my toilet paper and have it be gone,
For sure.
and not come through the shower. You know?
Yeah.
So
That's
just
crazy.
things like that you learn to like be appreciative of, and like really just simple things.
Cool.
So it's like something minor happens during the day, like don't let it ruin your day.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
could always be worse.
So back to your career at Oregon State. Is there anything, any game, any practice? Like, is there a moment that's kind of a career definer for you so far?
Really like where I realized like this is what I want to do for sure. It was really just that whole first year for me. My boss who hired me at the time, he's now at San Jose State, but he was just such a great mentor to me. Really just kind of like pushing me to like learn things further than other people. Like he gave me responsibilities like a little bit more than my other coworkers. So at first I was kind of like, man, this sucks. But at the same time, I think he's just really entrusting me like, hey, I think that you have a lot of potential. I think that you're really intelligent with catching on to this, like our processes, how our technology works, our software. And so I really appreciate like what he did for me and giving me those responsibilities. So there wasn't like a certain like special moment, like in the sense of that, but it was just that whole first year.
Nice.
Just really like just loving it.
This is year number 3, 4 for you at Oregon State with this?
This was my sophomore year.
Okay.
But like my first full season with the team.
And how many seasons have you been with them now?
4.
4
I've done
seasons.
4 seasons, like 4.5, because I got hired in the spring of my freshman year.
How has your career developed over the 4 years?
For them, it's just like you kind of reach a max as a student.
Gotcha.
Like you're only there so many hours. And
Right.
there's only so many responsibilities, but definitely just them being willing to teach me how to edit creatively.
Gotcha.
How to use those softwares has like really helped me. That's helped me grow the most. Because through like those highlights I'll make for players, those creative videos are what I use to show to NFL films, and that's how I got hired by them.
Okay.
So without this job, without them teaching me these like techniques, without them trusting me to make highlight videos for players, like I would have never got that kind of like big defining moment for me. And like I'd say I still have a long ways to go as far as like getting on with the team or like really having that big project. But to get my foot in the door like that was very important to me. And I would never have that opportunity without like, you know, the guys that work in the video department at Oregon State. Shout out.
Yeah, shout out to the Beebs. What a perfect way to segue into a new topic, which I'm super excited to talk about. NFL films. This boy, my man, was in Jersey last spring, working for NFL Films. Dude, I got to visit him. Me and our buddy Eli, got to visit him. Had a blast. Went to downtown New York City. Had some fun. Got some Philly cheesesteaks in Philadelphia. Shout out to John's. What was the Philly cheesesteak place called?
John's Roast Pork.
John's Roast Pork. Shout out to them.
Not even called the Philly cheesesteak place.
Yeah, but it was really good. It was really good, dude. This bomb.
Kenny Long too.
Yeah, Kenny. That guy's accent was hilarious. The New Jersey accent in general, I just love that. They have so much attitude to it, and I think it's so funny.
I remember before you guys came, I was like, okay, just so you know, this is not like Oregon. You can't, I don't care how drunk you get, you can't talk shit to someone because they will fight you. I was like, they will not hesitate. So, like, don't put me in that position. Like, I don't need that stress. And then that's like the first night we're there, we're leaving like this dive bar, and there's a bike locked up on the sidewalk in Eli, so it's like driving it. And this guy across the street is like unlocking his bike, and he's just side-eyeing Eli. Like, what are you doing? And Eli sees it, and he just points at him. He's like, "You fucking lucky, bro, that you came out. Your bike was next."
He's just yelling it to him. We're all just totally like,
We're
whoa.
waiting for the Uber. Oh my god! And then you take your pants down, start running around naked. Like,
Sounds like me. That's definitely the move.
This is what I did not want right right now. Express level just through the roof.
Us and Eli had a blast. It was so fun.
It was a lot of fun.
It was so fun seeing y'all. And you got to show us the facility too, which was really dope. And seeing all those helmets and seeing basically the culture of the NFL. Like, a lot of people don't understand how big of a deal and how much of an impact the NFL has made with the American culture. I mean, you take it back to the 50s and 60s, or does it even go back to it goes to the 60s, right? The actual NFL. Like, the NFL as an entity was in the 60s.
Yeah, they just had their 100-year season. So like the 1920s.
Wow, yeah, it's even longer than that. My bad. But
All good.
yeah, it was cool, dude. And before I go on a tangent here and just start talking and not making much sense, talk us into how that came about and what were some highlights being at the NFL Films.
So that was just my dad one day. He was like, I found this internship for you. You got to apply to it. And I was kind of like, oh, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then got a lot more into it. Made an online portfolio. Just really took my time to be like, okay, this would be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Interviewed. There were a few stages. So they're like, if we think you're qualified, like, we'll get back to you. Like, we might not. And then they were like, okay, you made it to like the online interview. So I was like, oh, cool, I get to talk to somebody. And then it ended up being just like a recording, and like they just recorded me on my desktop. I was talking to a robot.
Yeah.
And that was really awkward. And then they're like, okay, you can either do a Skype interview with us now, or you can come in person. And they're like, we don't recommend, if you're far away, that you come here. If it's like much of an hour drive, you have to take a plane, just do it online. Like, it won't add to your candidacy. And being the furthest person away, I decided, I was like, well, I'm gonna fly there.
Yeah, might as well.
I want to be in person. Like, it's a whole different ballgame.
Oh,
Like,
for
you shake someone's hand. But yeah, I don't know. I just got there and they were super kind. I remember they're like, "What are you doing tonight?" Like in the middle of the interview, like, who's this goofy kid from Oregon who's like,
flew all the way out here just to
like,
say what's
up.
up.
Like, why
And
did
you did it anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
What are you doing tonight? I was like, "Oh, me and my dad are gonna like go to a hockey game." They're like, "Oh, your dad's here?" I'm like, "Yeah, he's in the parking lot right now, sitting in the car. Like, I can't rent a car. How do you think I got here?" And they started like laughing at me. They're like, "You're an idiot."
We told you not to come here.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, well.
You dragged your dad out here too? Man, this guy's really dumb.
Yeah, they're like, oh, I guess we like wish we could give him a tour right now. Like, you wanted to give him would you like a tour? I'm like, yeah, you would. That'd be awesome. Because like I'd only been in the lobby, and they're like, oh, actually we have too many interviews today. Like, just kidding.
Psych.
Like, okay. But yeah, so then I think it was like after my birthday, I was really like waking up after like a long morning, 22nd birthday. And I got a phone call. It woke me up. It's from New Jersey. And they're like, hey, we emailed you like 3 days ago. You have until today to reply if you want to be a part of this internship or not. Like, answer your email, you dumbass.
Are you serious, dude?
That's about how it went. Wow. So I just walked downstairs like, Dad, I got it. And he's like, what? I was like, no, the NFL thing. I was like, yeah, they said I can do it. And he's like, oh, yeah. So
that's so crazy.
I was really scared, too, because like, I really put all my eggs in one basket. I hadn't registered for winter classes yet. So I was like, I really hope I get this.
Yeah. Hey, man, all in.
But
flew all the way out there.
But it was a crazy experience. Like, being around those professionals and like how nice they were. I had access on my laptop at my fingertips anytime I wanted to anything I ever shot or recorded by the NFL of all time.
Oh, wow.
Any piece of footage, anything that like you guys can't see that no one will ever see, like I could watch.
Mm-hmm.
That's super cool.
Which was awesome.
Dude, it was crazy going into the studio and we're just walking through the whole like facility and seeing that. I remember specifically that one room that was like a chilled room. And it had all these, imagine all these different tapes. Data rooms. I think I was telling you this.
Yeah, it's your data center room.
Yeah.
With all your servers that stores all your backups.
Crazy.
Yeah.
How like complex and sophisticated it is on like where they put things, and they have themes of where years, players, events, like it's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy how much they protect the footage. They have, so we couldn't go in there. My dad got to go in there because when he was there, like I introduced him to our coordinator. And she was like, oh, here, take my keys, go to like the film vault. And the film vault is like all the actual film they've ever shot. Mm-hmm. And it's just like this massive room with reels and reels and reels. And they're just like, they call it the keepers of the flame or something like that. Because basically, if like the building were to go up in flames or an earthquake hit, like that room would still be standing.
Gotcha.
Like, that's all the money.
Wow.
Yeah. That's where everything is. But yeah, it's crazy just how like sacred they are over that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Which is really neat.
Dang.
But one of the craziest things definitely was that day I got to be on the set for the NFL all-time team over the 2 days. So that was even like in the building, a lot of people didn't know what was going on or who was going to be there.
Right.
So I would sit in the studio when they were practicing, like all the film guys, like they would mic me up and they'd be like, okay, pretend like you're Jerry Rice. And Jerry Rice, I want you to look at like Bill Belichick and talk to him, and we'll make sure the levels are working. So you're just sitting with your coworkers, like your other intern, you're just like talking about shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
Kind of a good excuse to get out of work for the day.
Huh.
But then since we did that enough times, I emailed them and I was like, hey, since I helped kind of set up, can I be like a shadow on the set? And they're like, yeah. So there's only 2 of us that got to do it. And really the whole other side of the building, like, didn't really know what was going on. We had like these special passes and just kind of like things we could talk about and could not, and super strict about having your phone out. But that day, over those 2 days, getting to be around like 17 Hall of Fame players.
Wow, that's an experience.
Was crazy. And like I couldn't go up and talk to them because I'm the intern. They'd just kick me out. They'd be like, get out.
Yeah.
Get out of the studio.
Get out of here, son. What are you doing?
You're like right around them. Like I was talking to like the head security guy for the NFL. Like I'm next to Cooper, and we're sitting at a bar, and there's only like a little bar stool or whatever, and there's only 2 seats. And Larry Fitzgerald walks up, and he's like talking to him, like, "Oh, Lenny, what up, boy?" Like,
what up, boy?
Dapping him up, and they're like, "Oh yeah, talking."
Future Hall of
I'm
Famer.
so out of place right now. There's like only like one other seat. I'm taking it, so I just got up and silently like walked away. So Larry Fitzgerald could take.
I don't deserve this seat. There's Larry right
You
here.
just pulled it out for him, be like, "Here, sir, this is for you."
Yeah, but he is the nicest person of all time. Like, like honestly, the most genuine dude. He's got a football life out. Like he's already got a documentary. Like he's a legend already.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
He's
He's
got
like
documentaries
40.
still in the league. Yeah.
Yeah, he's 40. Future Hall of Famer. He looks like a stand-up dude anyways. Like off, like, I don't know, like during the games, but like, he does all these extra things off the field they don't really see or recognize.
I feel like the guys who make it long term are usually pretty good guys because you have to be. You can't be pissing people off.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to be like want to be kept around the organization.
Yeah.
But yeah, super nice guy. But I was definitely like, nah, I can't be sitting in Larry Fitzgerald's seat right now. Gotta get out of here. That was pretty funny. But it's really cool to see those guys interact. Like they were walking off set. They're doing the running back spit, and Jim Brown, who's a little bit slower than he used to be. He's like walking with a cane.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like only a little space between him and the wall, but he's going like he goes really slow. He does not walk fast at all. And
Jim Brown
Smith is
pace
behind him and like wanting to go a little faster, like doing that awkward back and forth, trying to see if he can squeeze between him. And at the last second, kind of made like in my opinion like a poor judgment because he almost knocked Jim over. Like squeezes between Jim Brown and the wall, almost knocks him over, and you think Jim Brown would be pissed, but he's just like, "Ooh, nice moves, Emmett." Like goes back at him, and Emmett Smith's just like, "Still got it," and like runs out of the room.
Still got it, baby. You know how it is.
So it's funny to see how they interacted like that and like see their real personalities because you see them on TV all the time, and they're just super genuine people.
Right.
Honestly, like they're people as well.
Yeah.
They don't have to put on a show all the time. They're just funny dudes naturally, and they're like secure. So secure in themselves. That's cool.
They just really like being around each other. Like it was cool how much like
The
they kinda know
alumni.
each other,
For
and like they're all just kind of buddies. So it's super neat.
That's dope. If you were to put like top 3 highlights during your time in Jersey and with the NFL films, what would you say would be the top 3 things that you did
Top 3 things.
or got to experience, I guess?
That was a super cool one.
Like you did the Moss Mondays stuff too. Like you worked on that. Like was there anything in particular that was like, this is super dope that I'm doing this?
I would just say working on the documentaries as a whole. So I guess like we didn't talk. So my main thing I worked on was a football life. They take past players and like a documentary. And so the episodes that I worked on, because we only had 4 this season because of the NFL 100. Usually per season of a football life, I think there's like 10 to 12 episodes. But because of the NFL 100, there was just like so much other programming, they didn't have the time for it. So I worked on Ronnie Lott, Bruce Smith, Terry Bradshaw,
Terry.
Tony Gonzalez.
Yeah, I saw the Terry one. That was super sick.
So just being a part of that was super neat. Like, and I thought I knew like
Right
a decent
on.
amount about the NFL, but learning that much more was really cool. But then also working on the Moss Mondays was kind of like an Instagram thing. They still do it to this day, which is cool.
Wow.
Even though I left, I just made like because I was like, oh, I want to help out with social media, and the lady's like, yeah, we always do like National whatever day, just make a video for it. So it was like National Minnesota Day, and I made like a Minnesota Vikings video. And there's a Randy Moss wire in there, like a wire when they're mic'd up, like the audio.
Yeah.
And she was like, hey, people have been commenting on that video, and they want to see more Randy Moss. Why don't you make like a Moss Monday or something? So I'm like, okay. So I made a video, just like him being a goof, because like he's hilarious when he's wired up. If you haven't had a chance to see them, like they're really funny. And she was like, that did so well. Can you just make one for like every Monday the rest of the time you're here? And I was like, yeah.
That's really
100%.
As I'm like wearing my like Randy. I already had this at the time. I was like,
Yeah, you got your
I
Randy
think I was,
Moss
like,
swag
wearing
on.
it to work that day. So I was like, yeah, I can make a Randy Moss video.
Randy Moss is the man.
Yeah. So I just made them like the rest of the Mondays, and they still do them. They'll do like, I just saw this last Monday. They're like, Moss Monday. And I just commented on the video. I was like, gotta love a good Moss Monday, right?
Randy Moss is like Elmer's glue. He's got those stickies, baby.
But yeah, so then he was there that day for the NFL 100. So I can't go up to him and be like, hey, have you seen the Moss Mondays? I'm like, that's me. You know?
I'm your man.
I do those.
Courtesy of Jay Cole Gerke.
I love you.
Hey, I love you, man. Can I have a hug with you and a
No,
photo?
it was cool to be like, I'm right next to him. Like I'm hearing him talking. I'm like, wow, that's super cool. Like this guy who I've spent all these hours like having to like dissect his wires and what he says. Like, oh, I'm right next to him now. That's awesome.
Did you ever have a player come up and just chat with you?
No, because there's a lot of people like on set. There's a lot of moving parts. They're kind of looking like where they need to be.
Gotcha.
If they're sitting down, if there's like time in between, they're like eating snacks or like
sure.
watching TV.
Yeah.
Right.
The only person I really talked to was Mean Joe Green, but it's because he needed to know where the bathroom was.
That's a great, honest question.
That just like shows you like how much I interact, like how important I was to them.
Just a little peon.
Yeah. He's
Hey,
like,
man, do you know where the nearest restroom is?
yeah, well, like the main, like this lady who's kind of running the show, like the main production kind of coordinator, like telling everyone where to be. Like, hey, I need an intern like for a job, and I was like, oh yeah, my time to shine. What's up? She's like, yeah, Mr. Mean Joe Green needs to know like where the bathroom is, so we show him like where he can go pee. Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
A few seconds with being someone famous.
I was this close. Bill Belichick at the end of shooting, we all wrap up, and he's shaking everyone's hand down the line, and I was the next in line to shake his
He
hand.
swerves.
And one of the producers is like, oh, let's go over here and shake these people's hands instead. I seriously felt like I never felt so small in my life or so unimportant. But, man, that sucks. I could be sitting here right now like, oh yeah, I shook Bill Belichick's hand like Coach Belichick, so it was awesome. But now I'm like, oh no, what could have been?
Just grab him by the arm and shake his hand.
Ripped up sweatshirt or no? During the...
No, he's wearing a suit.
Yeah, he's looking fresh.
He's
You gotta
wearing
look
a suit.
fresh.
Yeah, 'cause
NFL
he
films.
was like the commentator. He was there the whole time. And he hates the media, but he was like really happy the whole time, being on camera and talking about it. But I think it's because like, when you ask him a question that he thinks is stupid, like he doesn't want to talk to you. But if you ask him a question where you get his wheels turning, where he's like, that's a good question,
Yeah.
where he like can answer intelligently, then he loves talking. I think he's like with all those players and those guys, I think it meant a lot to him.
Yeah, there was a really cool post on Instagram. I don't know if it was NFL specific, but they brought up the moment where, and I hate bringing this up because at the same time, Bill Belichick, you're dope, but I hate you because you beat the Seahawks a few years back in the Super Bowl on our stupid play that we made. But they broke down the science behind the theory of what they anticipated that play to be, and they were practicing that specific play. And the corner at the time, like I don't know his name, but he purposely went the direction that he went because they did this play over and over and over again in practice. So they knew that would be a potential play that they would put in the end zone. And 9 times out of 10, you would think that Marshawn Lynch has it.
Yeah.
But, they were doing so well with digging into, like, the philosophy of the O coordinator at Seahawks. And they knew that was going to happen. Like, that's crazy to me.
Yeah, he's like easily just the smartest like the highest football IQ of all time. I was watching this interview, I think it was like with Pat McAfee. And he was like interviewing Kyle Van Noy. And Van Noy's talking about, he's like, yeah, it was super crazy. He's like a team that I won't mention. We were studying for them. And before the game, Belichick calls like some of us on the defense into the room. And he's like, okay, look at this player right here. And when he does this with his hand, it's a pass. When he does this with his hand, it's a run. And they're like, what are you talking about?
Wow.
Like, it's just some player like lining up. And they get in the game, they're like, oh my God, he's right.
That's crazy.
Like the
Was it a
littlest
signal
thing.
or
patterns.
was it just like...
We
I
do
don't
that in
have
baseball,
it?
too.
He wouldn't really specify, just out of respect to the other team.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't really specify, but he's like, if this guy does this with his hand. So I don't know if it was a signal or like a habit. It could have been either or.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if he's flashing it to the team or if that's, but like, they're like, oh my God, how did you pick up on that?
Yeah.
Right.
There's
Those
so
little
many other
things.
things to look at.
Yeah.
I would do that when I was keeping the bench warm at Oregon State. When I was in the dugout watching pitchers, I'd watch their hands, their eyes, their feet
People have
on
toes.
every pitch. They have tendencies and patterns, and I could tell, like, probably about like 2-3 innings into a game, if the starter's still in, what their tendencies are they going to throw off speed, curveball, fastball. That was all based off of just tendencies.
Would you call it out?
Of course. What?
Would you call it out?
Yeah, we would have non-verbals, and we would give it to the team. But at the same time, a good pitcher won't sell it. There's some people, even in the MLB, that give it away, but like great pitchers usually don't give it out.
Mm-hmm.
In college, that isn't the case all the time. But yeah, anyways, before we wrap this up, let's go into more of some topics that some people on Instagram have asked. Our boy Barstool Poppy asked you the question, what was your experience like working, because you worked with Barstool Beebs, which is a trickling down company, or I guess segue from Barstool. Walk us through how that happened and your experience with that.
That was really cool too, because I actually just resigned because I was like, oh, it's time for me to like move on and like focus on professional life and like graduating from school. But that was really cool. It was just, I think when I got hired, they were still at like 2,000 followers, like maybe 1,500. Like they were still pretty new. And they just put a thing up and they're like, hey, we're looking to hire someone, DM us. So I just DM'd them and they're like, oh, like we'll talk to you on the phone. The guy at the time, his name was Zach Padilla.
Okay.
He was a manager for the baseball team. Do you know him?
Zach. Doesn't ring a bell like right on the top of my head.
Maybe after your time, I don't know.
Yeah.
But so I talked to him and he's like, oh, we'd love to have you on. And so that was a blast. I mean, we don't get paid anything, but it's just a lot of fun. You get to send a lot of funny things. It's cool just to like come up with those cool captions, just be, because it's like our main thing is to like kind of tell the story and current events of what's going on at Oregon State.
Right.
Whether that's just like super drunken humor, which is usually it is, or if it's sports, or just kind of like shouting out people that are doing cool things, just making sure that we're just keeping everyone in the loop. It's just like current events, but for idiots.
For sure.
But it was a blast. I loved it. And like, John was awesome to work alongside. Just everyone that was on the team ever was like just a joy.
Yeah. And it keeps you very intertwined with what's going on at Oregon State.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It would be fun to be involved with because, like you and I, like we love just being funny, talking about stupid stuff, showing stupid stuff, and like just making a laugh out of everything.
Yeah.
Like even on our Facebook page with our fraternity, we have like, I remember the one moment with John Whitaker on the street with the squirrel and he put chalk around it and he made a whole different like huge scene about it.
Oh my god, the crime scene squirrel.
That
was part of the thing too. It's like, I know I'll be good at this because I have so many ridiculous videos of my friends doing dumb things I can post.
Yeah.
Like, but if I have a slow day, I know I'll have like something in my archive.
Yeah, we have an artillery of hilarious friends that do stupid shit, so it's endless.
Do
with
you
content.
have a final project or a project that you are working on that you would like to use for kind of your resume when you're applying for jobs?
Yeah, right now what I'm trying to do is I'm taking like, so like everything I do now in editing, I kind of try to model after NFL films. It's like a lot of my inspiration. So I don't really look at a single person, but I look at their style of editing and how they storytell. So right now, what I'm doing, I've been pulling like a lot of footage from games that we've won this year, and like pulling footage, radio calls, different angles, like post-game interviews, all that stuff, to tell the story of like what was the turning point in that game and how we pulled it off.
Okay.
So where I'm probably not going to get the interviews from the players, just because you need to get access kind of to like be able to interview them. I don't know if the department would be down for that, but I'm just like in the middle of making like almost like a 5 to 7 minute like documentary on a single game of what was the turning point, like when did the tides change in the momentum.
Gotcha.
Cool, man.
So that's
dope.
That's what I want to
really
add to my portfolio, because it's like everyone has a cool hype video, like the music,
for sure,
but not a lot of people have that storytelling aspect.
Yeah.
Of that, like, here's what happened. It's more than just like the cool angles, the cool editing,
Right.
Do you see yourself staying in the sports realm, or would you like to go a different direction?
I think sports is what I'm super passionate about. So I think I could always go a different direction. I don't see a problem with that.
Yeah.
But I would love to stay in sports, and specifically football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a cool space to be in.
Yeah, and just because I know it the best. I played like 3rd grade to senior year at high school.
Gotcha.
So it's just what I'm comfortable with.
Okay.
For sure.
And Yeah, and then at Oregon State too, like it just wouldn't have made sense for me to do video for like basketball or baseball just because I don't know it.
Yeah.
That well, I never played either.
You gotta be in the game and have at least played it.
Yeah,
You gotta have an eye for it.
And just being a part, like knowing the game, like having that just natural intelligence helps out a lot.
For sure.
Yeah.
What to look for, like what's important, what angle to get. You know.
Sick, dude. That's awesome. Favorite team in the NFL?
Seahawks,
baby.
Let's go
12
Broncos.
Oh man, we
My
got
guy-
a Bronco
My
in the
guy
building.
Kyle Pecco playing on the Broncos.
All I gotta say is having Marshawn at the end of the year was probably one of
It was
the most,
nice.
one of the most awesome parts of the season.
It was awesome.
It's a bummer we couldn't take it all the way, but Seahawks be coming back, baby. 2020 vision.
Well, they just signed Greg Olson.
Ooh,
You see that?
I did not.
You didn't know
How
that?
recent was that?
Like 4 days ago.
They also have a
To check that out.
local Oregonian out of Bend, Oregon, playing on their team. One of the Hollister brothers.
Oh, he's from
Sick.
Bend?
No way.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It's dope. Cool. Local boy. Dope. All right. Well, before we end this, I got one more question. What advice would you give to people in a similar space as you with videography? And we'll just end it with that.
Just don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Ask for help because people are more than willing to like give you advice. Like no one's gonna think you're stupid if you don't know what you're doing. Like put yourself out there, ask. And if you don't know, then fake it like you do.
It's true.
Like seriously, just fake it till you make it, and just like have that confidence, but be willing to ask questions. Like if you don't know, then learn.
For
That's what I
sure.
would say.
Yeah.
For sure. Confidence is key. All right. Dope. Well, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll post this in the next few days on YouTube, but we'll post this on the podcast shortly. Thanks for tuning in, guys. As always, please, if you got any value in this podcast, in the YouTube video, or on TikTok, please share it with your friend. Subscribe to either of the platforms and leave a comment or rating.
Yeah, we really appreciate your support, guys. So keep tuning in.
Thanks, guys. Peace.
Shout out, replace SR.
Woo!